We are live now, and also we're recording for later on. Do you want to record or not?
Yeah, so let's record it.
Record it.
Okay, you know what? Stop recording now, and then when you said go, and then we record. So then we've been just chit chatting right now. So stop the recording now. Oh, you're already live. Sorry.
Hey, that's truly who we are.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for taking the time to be here to attend to my online training. This is my first time doing online, and I hope you can learn some takeaway today. And some of you guys already know about Kangen, and some are new. So please take your notes out and keep track of everything. And if you have any questions, please in the chat you can text, and then Annie will moderate the chats, and so that I can answer your questions. My name is Tam. I'm from Brampton, which is Toronto, Canada, and I done this for 2 years now. And at first, I didn't really believe in this water, believe in this business, and it was a tough, convincing time for Annie to let me join this venture. And it's been 2 years now, and I don't look back. It's moving forward, and it's been a great journey. And I like to share journey, and if the opportunity arises, then you can join us to go through this journey. The money is good. The work is very meaningful. Sharing the water, sharing your health, and sharing the benefits of this water. And so it's been fun. I don't do this full time. Annie does. I work. I have a background in health science, and I work for Toronto Public Health for 23 years. That's my background. I just quit that job last July. No, the July before, I think, right? Yeah. So now I devote my time on this, and I also have another full-time job with the government doing IT stuff. So anyways, so just a little disclaimer. Today I'm sharing what I learned about this water, and everything I share has research and background, and most of my research sources from PubMed and other peer review sources. So it's credible. If you need any references and things like that, you want to check deeper into the articles, and please let me know. I'll let Annie know, and we can share that with you. A little disclaimer is the company is very strict as far as medical claims, so I don't claim that this water can cure anything and things like that. So it's not meant to replace your doctor's consultation. So as long as the water helps, and we all know that. It's just that it's not medically claimed per se. So right now, if you have any doubts, just try the water. Talk to the people that invite you here, and share the water, and the benefits. Okay. So without going any further, let's start. So the agenda for today is we talk about the importance of water to your health, and we talk about different types of water that we put into our body every day. Excuse me, I have to close the door. It's very noisy.
We have a chat room here. If you have any questions, just text in the group here in this chat, and then I'll monitor it, and I'll send it to Tam later once he's done with his presentation.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Okay, so as you know, our body is largely water. So we're talking about this, right? So our body is like over 52% water. Water is very important if it helps with all the functions in the body. So lose a lot of water every day. Every breath you take, it's respiration. You breathe out, you're losing water, right? So we lose a lot from respiration, metabolism, skin, evaporation. So, believe it or not, the skin actually evaporates and you lose water, digestion, and secretions when you perspire or you urinate. So what kind of water that you replenish, your body with? So most of us, know tap water, bottled water, juice, soda, coffee, alcohol, beer. Some of them actually dehydrates you more, even, such as alcohol and caffeine, coffee. So most of us don't drink enough water, and that's the bottom line. So, dehydration is actually the cause of many chronic illnesses. And if you've talked to your doctor, doctor says, 6 to 8 glasses per day of water. So here I have a book. This book is actually a bestseller. Oops, my camera. Sorry.
Yeah, and turn up the background so we can see your book.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I just realized that. Sorry about that. So here you can see my book. It says it's titled "You're Sick for Water." Your body many cries for water, and it actually states that you're not sick, you're thirsty. So don't treat thirst with medication. This is one of the bestseller books, and in the book he talks about how important water is to your body and the importance of drinking enough water to stay hydrated. And you can see like a lot of these diagrams and things like that. It's very, very helpful. I would recommend reading the book and how dehydration actually affects your health, generally speaking, anywhere from digestion to your nervous system and the like. So you can see that water is very important to us, and not only drinking enough water, but also drinking the right type of water, right? You can't, and a lot of us, like if you feel thirsty, you're actually already dehydrated, right? Because your body is actually signaling that you need water. So you want to drink before you even feel thirsty. And some people are like so busy that they won't feel the thirst, right? So like especially people work in the office and things like that. So most of us don't drink enough water. So drink a lot of water and the right kind of water. So how do you know it's the right kind of water? To me, Kangen water is the right kind of water because it has all the properties that your body needs. So it's antioxidation, it's high in alkaline, it's microclustered, and we can talk about this, in the demo, what these all means, and also no contamination. So this water is very special because it has those 4 health benefits, and I'm going to be showing that. So let's just see what we drink every day. Most of us drink bottled water, thinking bottled water is actually pure because it's bottled, right? In fact, if you see NBC News here, they found out that they have tested 10 brands in the US and they found 38 chemicals. And on average, 8 contaminants found in each kind of bottled water. So you can see that bottled water actually has a lot of contaminants. And FDA is regulations very loosely regulated. So you get all kinds of stuff in it: bacteria, caffeine, pain relievers such as Tylenol, fertilizers, and even like some chemicals, radioactive strontium and things like that, and chemical link chemicals in the bottled water that we buy, right? So you can see that bottled water is not as pure as you would think it is, right? And not only that, bottle plastic actually leach, right? So there's leach chemicals in the plastic. The longer the water stays in the bottle, by the time the bottle is bottled at the company, at the bottling plant, to the time that you consume it, it can take up to 6 months. So 6 months that water has been inside plastic, and the leaching in there is as you can imagine, right? So it has like estrogenic chemicals that leach into the water that we drink. Not only that, last year, or 2018, 2 years ago, they found that there is a global study tested bottled water, and we found 93% of bottled water actually has microplastic in it. So you're actually drinking microplastic. And in fact, if you see like on average, 325 plastic particles are found in 93% of the bottled water that's in the market. And you can see these brand names. These are Aquafina, very familiar names. The Sani, they all contaminated with microplastics. And they found that right now there's not much of real studies of how the plastic can affect your health. But we know that plastic leach, and also it's so small that it goes in your bloodstream. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. It goes right into the placenta of the baby. So with amniotic fluid, it actually go right into the baby's body. So plastic is a major concern. Plastic contamination is a major concern right now if you drink plastic bottles water. So how much bottled water are you consuming? According to CBC.ca here, CBC News, you can actually ingest up to 5 grams a week, the equivalent of eating a credit card. So if you drink bottles exclusively, you can actually consume 5 grams a week of plastic, which is a credit card of plastic into your body that you're consuming if you're consuming bottled water. So next time when you pick up bottled water, think twice what can be in it, right? So you can, that's just a zoom up, environmental WWF international studies on that, right? So not only that, it's very bad for the environment. It takes plastics in the environment. It takes 450 years for plastic to decompose. So this picture here, this man here he's actually on the ocean, and he is paddling through garbage. As you can see that, garbage everywhere. And in fact, if you read on, there's something called Pacific Garbage Patch. So in the Pacific Ocean right now, we have 1.6 million square kilometers of garbage floating in the ocean. So you can see how big of a patch this is in the ocean. And garbage, actually, plastic dump into garbage every year, dumped to the environment every year, 8 million metric tons in 2015. And because of the plastic, it actually kills a lot of marine mammals or animals. 100 million marine animals die each year because of plastic contamination. So you can see, so plastic is bad, bottled water is bad. So what do? We drink tap water, right? In Canada, we are very proud that we have like 28% of fresh water in the world, and we think that Canadian actually are drinking fresh, clean water, but we're not. Actually, the Great Lakes, as one of the especially Lake Ontario, it's very contaminated. How is it contaminated? Because of if you know Niagara Falls, right? A lot of chemicals dumps in the water, and it just flows through the river, and it goes right down to Lake Ontario. So every time you see Niagara Falls, there's a lot of pollution. And if you know about the Lake Ontario, they don't allow you to eat the fish, right? Because of mercury contamination. So you can only eat a certain time and certain size of the fish, and you can't just freely catch any fish and eat. So the lake is contaminated already, but so you can see here is a diagram of how the water is being treated. So you can see that water pipes takes from the lake. It goes into this reservoir, and then you go through a treatment, chlorine. So they add chlorine in it, and then they add chemical coagulants to sink down all the organic matter. So then the top layer of the water goes into sand and gravel, and then more chlorination, post-chlorination, and fluoride, which is all bad stuff. And then it pumps out right into your house. So you can see that the process of treatment of municipal water, all they do is add chemicals, like multiple times just to add chemical. And the filtration process is very simple, just sand and gravel, right? So in fact, there has been studies. This is World Health Organization, and the chlorine that they pump into the water actually is very harmful to our health. They said that in this study, it says like bladder cancer can be associated with consumption of chlorinated tap water. And this is like a 32 years lifetime, okay, 32 years of studies. So you can see that chlorine is quite bad for your health. Here is a PubMed article talking about colorectal cancer is a frequency of cancer due to chlorinated water that we drink. Here's swimming pools. Also, if you swim and you're exposed to even more chlorine. In fact, chlorine is not what kills you. It's actually the byproduct of chlorine, which we call chloroform. In the chemical formula for that is trichloromethane. Chloroform is considered very harmful. It's classified in the THM, which is the trihalomethanes. THM right here, like it's a class of chemicals that has been known to be linked to cancer. In this study, they're talking about miscarriage in pregnant women. So if you're pregnant, don't go swimming. When you swim, you actually expose yourself 20 times more chlorine and chloroform. So what is chlorine and chloroform is? So I'm going to show you what this is about. So I'm going to do some tests of the chlorine. Okay. So anyone see my screen? If you can click on speaker view, you can see me better. Can everyone see this? Right. So, right. So here I have tap water that I just took. Right. So I'm gonna put the tap water into 3 cups. Even. So this is tap water. Okay. So here I have chlorine indicator. So any cups would have chlorine, and if it has chlorine, it will turn yellow. Right. So you can see it turns yellow. Right. But that's chlorine. Okay.
On the table, we can see clear and no need
to. You can see clear? Okay, good. So here is chlorine. In Brampton, actually, chlorine is really bad. You can actually smell it when you shower, or you can, when you turn on the tap. Now, so we use chlorine every day, right? You wash your face, we shower with it. So here I'm putting my hands in it. So the chlorine now is interacting with my skin. It actually oxidizing my skin, right? So chlorine is actually an oxidizing agent, and that's how it kills bacteria. It oxidizes the living cell of bacterial cell, and it kills bacteria. But at the same time, it kills anything that organic matter. When it reacts with organic matter like your skin or bacteria, the byproduct of that is chloroform, which is the carcinogens, which is causing cancer. So now that's my hand, right? So that's my daily dose of shower. And here I have spinach. So I'm going to put spinach in here, which basically I use chlorine tap water to wash my vegetables and fruits, and anything that's in the sink that you eat. So here now chlorine is being washed with vegetables, right? Okay, so I'm going to take it out, and then we're going to test this water again to see if the chlorine is still there, right? And I have 5 drops earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see it's not yellow anymore, right? Because all the chlorine has turned into chloroform, which is a carcinogen. So now, this is the water that you mix soup with. This is the water that you drink, right? And you shower and everything. So we expose a lot of chlorine, and in fact, hot showers, you can inhale it because chlorine evaporates, right? So you can inhale it, it goes from draining your body, it turns into chloroform. So now we're talking about Kangen water. The Kangen water is special because it actually removes 99.9% chlorine. So here's my Kangen water. And I'm going to use the chlorine indicator to test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice and clear. No chlorine, right? So that is the reason why a lot of people have filtered water, right? Because, you know, all the contaminants in the water and the chlorine, stuff like that. So people kind of worry. So they say, okay, you know what? Let's have a filter, right? So a lot of people actually use filter water, like they have a filter at home, right? Filtration system. In fact, most of the filter, this is a chlorine. This is like MSDS. I'm not sure if you know. It's basically a chemical description of what chloroform is. And you can see down here in yellow, cause damage to organs, liver, kidneys, and cancer as well, right? So you can see that chlorine is not good. So this is like the level of chlorine that I just measured. It's yellow, so you can see that there's actually more than 2 parts per million with the color that we just saw. So in tap water, this is what you get. So aside from the chlorine, lead is also a problem. If you're in Canada, you know that, you know, a few months ago, they did a study that, you know, a lot of schools and houses that was built, older houses, very heavily contaminated with lead. And lead is a neurotoxin. It actually affects your brain and, you know, especially with children, like, you know, retardation and all kinds of behavior skills, because behavior problems, because it affects the brain. And once lead is enter your body, it doesn't get rid of it. Like it stays in your body, right? So it's accumulation effect as well. If you contaminate with lead, it's very dangerous. So just to give an example, like pharmaceutical drugs. What is pharmaceutical drugs? Why is it in the water? Because once you see the pills here, right? So every time you take pills, you actually pee or urinate out into the sewer system, and it ends up in the lake, right? In fact, this is CBC News, and birth control pills threaten fish population. What does that mean? So the lake is actually contaminated with small amount of estrogen, which is the active ingredient in birth control pills. And so women who takes birth control pills, they urinate out, it goes to the lake, and it's actually affecting the fish. And the fish is now actually becoming extinct because they cannot reproduce. They are also birth controlled, right? So you can see that just a little thing like that can affect the water and marine life. So imagine what kind of other chemicals in the water that we're consuming every day if you use tap water. Lead, I talk about Toronto. This is the news of how lead is contaminated. I actually went to the water website in City of Toronto, and I can actually check, because it's all public information, right? You can see all kinds of contaminants that they report publicly that you can actually access. And you can see that, you know, and I actually called them and they said, you know what, it's small, minute amount. It's not gonna affect much in your health. But imagine the cumulative effects, right? So it's one time is okay, but, you know, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years of exposing to these kind of chemicals, what kind of sickness can we get from all this, right? So now you cannot drink tap water, so we have filter water. So 90% in the market, they use, we all have reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis is a technology that they use membranes to filter the water, and the membrane is very tiny that it actually remove a lot of stuff in the filter, in the water. And so, but the problem is it also remove minerals. Minerals actually very, very helpful to your health, and your body actually needs it. You know, you don't eat enough minerals, so you know, drinking mineral water or water, the minerals in the water actually helps you to supplement a lot of you know, daily mineral needs. Not only that, it wastes a lot of water. Every liter that you use, you're actually wasting 4 liters, actually 3 liters of water. So 1/4, right, of water is to drink, and 3/4 is wasted. So here is WHO, which is World Health Organization studies, and they actually they see that sufficient evidence is now available to confirm that health consequences from drinking water deficient in calcium, magnesium. Calcium, magnesium is the two minerals that's most abundant in tap water, or nature, like in any water. So calcium and magnesium is very important. But the thing is, like, if you drink tap water or filter water, then lacking in calcium, magnesium, then you actually increase your chance of sudden death. Magnesium actually associated with higher risk of neuronal skills, which is your brain, pregnancy disorder, sudden death in infants, and some type of cancer. So this study is actually, there's this book. This is page 158. It's actually 300 pages on water alone that WHO published. And I just show you a very small excerpt of what this book is about. But it's amazing that, the water we drink, we think is pure, but it's actually not. So now we're talking about minerals, right? In fact, if you notice, or if you know, most tap water, actually 64% of bottled water we drink, not only contaminants, but it's also filter water, believe it or not. So it's just tap water, filter, and they sell to you with, like, a hefty price, right? So here we have, let me put this aside. Here we have 3 different types of filter water. Aquafina, and the Dasani. Aquafina is from Pepsi Cola, and the Dasani is Coca-Cola, which is a 2 beverage company, and it's the best selling in the world, most selling in the world. Smart water is actually what do you call it? Distilled water, right? So when you boil the water and the steam, you collect the steam, that's distilled water. Distilled water, does not have many minerals. This is actually, if you look at the label, read the label, it's actually reverse osmosis, what I just described. So here we got 3 type of water. This is a smart water. And the Dasani, which is reverse osmosis. Pepsi Cola, it's reverse osmosis, but it's actually advertised as demineralized water. It actually spell it out to you, demineralized. What does that mean? It means it takes away the minerals, right? So it's like, when I look at this, I kind of laugh, because it's like the packet in the cigarettes, right? You see the cigarettes, so smoking can kill you and cause all kind of cancer, but here's a pack of cigarette that you can buy, right? The warning, it's just silly. But anyways, so it actually tells you that it's not, there's just no minerals in it, right? And here we have another cup, and this would be the Kangen water that we drink, right? Here I have what we call a light. Okay, so hold on, let me just make sure that it is plugged in. Okay, so that this is a light. This is a light switch, right? So you have negative and positive end. So when the water has minerals, when you dip it in, it actually conducts electricity. Like, it basically it does this, right? It conducts negative to positive, and the light goes on, right? So if there is no minerals, then this end don't connect with this end, so therefore there's no light, right? So you can see here, I'm going to turn it on now. This is Aquafina, no light, right? So there's no minerals. This is the Dasani.
The light bulb, leave it
no
up.
light. Okay. Now, smart water, no light. Now, Kangen water, you see the light, right? Because it's very rich in minerals. It's actually alkaline minerals such as potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, sodium, right? So here again, no light, no light, no light, right? So you can see that Kangen water has a very special filter. It filters out all the contaminants and stuff like that, but it actually keeps the minerals, and it's the minerals that's good for your health, and it stays, right? So that is my attempt to show you what minerals about. And if you buy mineral water in the market, it's quite expensive, right? You know, it comes with a price. Here it's all natural from your machine. Okay, so that's the minerals. So now we can talk about Kangen water. What's so good about this, right? So if you into research and stuff like that, when I first started this, I look for alkaline water. I look for Kangen water and things like that, and you don't get all kinds of research and studies on it. Nobody really work or study. Kangen is the name, right? It's not a scientific terms, right? You say, but if you're going to research, look for electrolyzed reduced water. This is what in the scientific community they use. So if you're going to research like the benefits, health benefits of electrolyzed reduced water, you get all kinds of research in PubMed and things like that, right? The Japanese call it functional water, living water. Some people call it miracle water because it has ability to heal a lot of sickness. Talk about miracle water. There are different places in the world where people, it's just a natural source of water that people collect, and it actually has healing properties. And people think of it, some people call it miracle water. And here's a picture in France, Lourdes, France, and you can see that thousands of people come here to collect water for their health benefits, and people think it's a miracle water. On top of that, there are in northern Pakistan, there's something called Kashmir, Pakistan. There's a valley called Hunza Valley. And the people there we call the Hunza tribe, right? The tribe here, basically, people live very long. On average, these people live 120 years. Some people live 140 years. And they never have cancer or anything like weird sickness. They live in the mountains, so they eat very simple and very simple life. They don't have a high medical advancements and things like that, but they live very long. Here's a picture of a father of 95 and a son of 78, and they still very healthy, going out working the farms. So you can see that the reason why they found out later on that it's the water that they drink. This valley is rich. Basically all the glacial water come from the tip of the Himalayas mountains, coming down through this valley, and the people live and drink and eat with this type of water, right? And it was discovered by Dr. Henry Coanda. He's actually fluid dynamic physicist. So he won the Nobel Prize by discovering this village and the secrets of their longevity. And he found out that this water, by the way, he lived here for 10 years to discover this, right? So it's not like an overnight discovery of this type of water. So he found out that the water has 4 properties very important. One is very high in alkaline, low surface tension. At that time, this is 1930s. Now we know it's microcluster, right? But in the old days, he described it as low surface tension, rich in hydrogen, which is now we know it's antioxidant, and it's rich in minerals. So when he discovered this and he published it, he won the Nobel Prize, and the whole world found that we have created or found the fountain of youth, right? So they made film out of it, and the 2 group of scientists in 2 different countries, which is the Russians and the Japanese, they're the one who pioneered the research on this water, how to recreate this miracle water or the Hunza tribe water. And it turns out that the Japanese is the one who actually first found a technology that actually recreate this functional water, right? They call it functional water. And in 1960, the first commercial water ionizer was circulated in Japan. In 1965, Japan actually certified this water as a medical water ionizer as a medical device in Japan by the FDA, similar to FDA, which is Health and Rehabilitation Ministry of Japanese government. So right now, if you know, Japan is one of the people that have the highest percentage of centenarians. Centenarians are people who live over 100 years old, and Japan has the highest ratio per capita. So you can see, and in Japan right now, every 6th household has a water ionizer in the kitchen. And not only that, it actually is introduced into hospitals, this technology. There are over 250 hospitals in Japan leverage this technology to use as a medical device in Japan. And I have a little videos of later on, if we have time, we can watch the video how people in Japan and the hospital use this water in Japan. So this company, Enagic, is the one who created this machine. Was established in 1974 by Mr. Oshiro, and he was one of the person who actually realized the benefits of this water. And at that time, the machine was all in the hospitals, and he said, you know what? He's an entrepreneur. How to create this machine small enough to fit in the kitchen, so that you don't go to the hospital and collect the water, right? So he was successful to create this company and create a small ionizer for the household. And right now, there are over 6,000 in Japan. Over 6,600 doctors endorse this water machine. Well, not necessarily Kangen, but because even in Japan, there's a lot of brand names, right? So it's not necessarily all Kangen water, but Kangen is the longest standing company, and they are the industry leaders in terms of research and all the stuff. And if you can compare all the machines, we can have other discussions how this machine is different from all the other ones in the market. And you can see that the technology is amazing. One of the things about this machine is it's right now you actually can sell the machine over 174 countries. There are 23 countries that has a presentation office that you can actually go in and service the machine. It's all run by Japanese management. So no one touched the machines. Like that's why it's called OEM, which is original equipment manufacturer. They are the one who create or produce the machine, and they're the one who services, and they stand by their products. So it's not like the iPhone where you have all kinds of cheap parts imported from different countries to make an iPhone, right? So this is that's what we call OEM, original equipment manufacturer. So over the years, the machine has been certified, which is again not a lot of machines out there that has these type of certifications. First is the gold standard, which is the industry leading in terms of ionizer, right? 9001 refers to quality. So the quality of products. These ISO, which is International Standard Organization, basically regulations like international, and they have different very strict guidelines that you have to meet. If you're a manufacturer of anything and you have this seal, that means that the consumer can safely deal with you and buy your products because you meet the standard, right? So ISO is 9001 is quality of the machine. So because of this, machine lasts 15 to 25 years. It's built with quality. Not only that, 14001 ISO 14001 is basically environmental friendly. So during the process of producing these machines, we don't have any industrial water waste, that's released to the environment. There's no pollution, smoke, or anything like that, coming off the environment. So this machine is actually green. It's considered a green machine because the production of this machine does not produce any elements that's harmful to the environment. So environmental friendly. And the special seal for ISO is 13485, which is one of the only ISO that for ionizer, water ionizer, that's by Enagic. And you can see that actually I've seen other people, but I'm not sure if it's true, but Enagic for sure has this seal. It's a medical device. Okay, and in fact, in Canada, you can actually buy this machine under medical device finance. So aside from a company's finance, you can actually buy this under another program that the government subsidizes because it's a medical device, right? Not only that, the machine lasts long, but the water also has been certified as well by WQA, which is Water Quality Association, which is an independent organization that tests water and actually certified it if it's healthy water to drink. So this seal is actually very prestigious, and only our company has this seal. So I'm going to show you what this machine looks like and what it does. Okay, here I have a platinum. Okay, so SD501 platinum. The reason we call it platinum because of the metallic, touch to this. So the machines, first, it has a filter, right? So this filter actually very special. It's actually patent technology from the company, and it's a combination of 3 technology. If you see the 3 layers here, right? 3 filter technology. One is calcium sulfide, which is the first layer here. Calcium sulfide is actually remove 99.9% of chlorine or other contaminants, right? And then we have activated carbon, which remove all the heavy metals and other contaminants, remove odor. It kills 99.9% bacteria and microbes that may be present in the water, especially if you have well water, right? You got E. coli, you get all kinds of contaminants that does not go through the chlorination treatments, then you can actually get sick from drinking the water, right? So so activated carbon, remove all the bacteria and stuff like that, odor, sediments, all kinds of contaminants. And so once it's all removed, there's a last filter, which is mechanical filter, which is a membrane that actually remove all the remaining contaminants. What's special about this filter is it removes the contaminants, but it leaves the minerals. It's the minerals that actually helps with the ionization process and produce the water that we were looking that the 7 types of water that I'm going to show you, right? So very good technology. This filter can filter up to 5,000 liters or 1,500 gallons, 1,500 gallons. And if you talk about how long that does it last, it's for a family of 4 people, drinking, cooking, and washing and all this stuff. It's 8 months to a year to replace, and it's about 100 something to replace a filter. So it's not, once you have this, you never have to buy bottled water. You never have to use any contaminated water from the tap anymore. So it's very easy to install, right? And the company actually has some twice a year. The company has a sale that you can actually buy with like $20 discount, things like that. So it's very good. So now the tap water goes into here. It goes through the filters, right? And it actually and then the clean water with minerals goes into this electrolysis chamber where the water is restructured using electrolysis to produce the types of water that we need, which is 7 types of water. 3 water for drinking, 1 for medication, 1 for skincare, and 2 for sanitizing, 1 for sanitizing, disinfecting, as well as washing vegetables and things, and removing harmful pesticides and herbicides. So how does it work? So just in summary, bottled water is contaminated. Plastic leaching, microplastic, bad for the environment. Tap water is full of contaminants, and chlorine is that kills you. So that's why we're talking about Kangen water that has the properties that the body needs, as well as the minerals and other things. So here is the technology. So you can see the filter. So tap water goes through filtration, right? So the 3 layers we talked about, calcium sulfide, activated carbon, and mechanical filter. So now the water is filtered, it goes into this electrolysis chamber, right? So that's what's inside this machine is equipped with. This machine is actually, this plate, the reason why the machine is expensive, because of the plate, right? This is the heart of the machine. The plate is actually made out of titanium, which is a medical grade titanium, 99.9% pure titanium, right? The type that actually grabs your bone. You have like hip fracture and things like that. Like you have to put like titanium plates to hold your hips, right? So it's inserted to your body. That's the same metal that we use here. So titanium, and it's coated with platinum. Platinum is white gold, right? The reason why they use these 2 alloys is because it conducts electricity very well. It does not, there's no heat dissipation, right? Which doesn't generate heat. It conducts well because it doesn't have heat. And not only that, it doesn't rust, right? It doesn't oxidize. If water go into anything, you get like rust, right? So this metal, because of it's solid plates, and it basically does not have any rust in it, right? So that's the reason why it lasts long. Not only that, the power supply also lasts very long. It's a linear power supply, which is very different from the technology out there, which is SMPF. If you know anything about SMPF, like the switch mode power supply. So it does not deliver a straight stream of electricity to ionize the water. So in any case, the water goes through here. Let me see. Oh, shoot. How come? Okay, so you can see here. Okay, it's not playing. Shoot. What's going on here? Sorry.
A little play button on the bottom. Go back to your screen, Nan.
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to play, but for some reason it's not playing. I don't know why.
You can just tell us. We understand.
Yeah. So anyways, I just told you, but it's nice animation of how the water flow. But here is the close up of what. Are you still seeing my screen? Am I still sharing? No. Okay. So you can see here. Here is the plate. Here are the 2 titanium coated platinum plates. And when water goes in here through electricity, one is charged with negative charge and one is positive charge. So it's basically splits the water into splits the ions in the water, right? So you can see that on one side, which is a negative plate, we call it the cathode, right? This is cathode and anode. This technology actually is not new or specific to Japan. So people can think, no, this is actually electrolysis has been known since 1800s by Michael Faraday. Yeah, Michael Faraday. He's actually not discovered, but he actually formulate and actually calculate the electrolysis power of electrolysis through electricity. And he realized that when water goes through these plates, cathode and anodes, it gets split, right? And the product of splitting is you get the hydrogen and the minerals, which is the positive minerals, positive ions, right? And the hydrogen, which is those are the 3 products. So hydrogen is very strong in anti-oxidation, and that's what helps with a lot of degenerative disease and things like that because of the free radicals in your body. And the good minerals, which is the alkaline minerals. This is the reason why the water is alkaline, guys, because of the alkaline minerals. This alkaline minerals actually combines with the hydroxy ions to make alkaline water. And so these minerals are actually natural minerals in the water, but in the tap water, it's a different form, right? For example, calcium. Here on this side, after electrolysis, it's calcium hydroxide. But before electrolysis, it's calcium bicarbonate, right? So calcium bicarbonate is very hard to absorb, right? It's not bioavailable compared to calcium hydroxide. So in natural water, there is minerals, but it's not absorbing your body because of the chemical bonds, right? So through electrolysis, basically zapping the water with electricity, right? It splits the minerals, and you get calcium hydroxide, which is very bioavailable. So your body can absorb it better than just regular water. And not only that, it's like all the other calcium, all the minerals is the same, right? So if you're interested in the chemical formula, you can see down here. That's what it does, right? So here is a diaphragm, or the semi-permeable membranes that splits and keep the water separate, right? So down here is the Kangen water. That's the top hose you can see here, right? And this acidic water is the bottom hose. That it's basically we call it wastewater, but it's actually, it's slight acidic water that you can do for general purpose cleaning in the house, and wash your car with it, or even like for your skin and all kinds of stuff. So we don't have time to talk about all the application of these type of water, but you can talk to the people that invite you, and then they can tell you more about their real experience of the water. So hydrogen it's the first elements I want to talk about, because if hydrogen is very important. Hydrogen is very small, as you know, is the first element in the periodic table, and this is your cell. Okay, your body has like trillions of cells, and the whole body functioning is based on how the cell function, right? So hydrogen gas or active hydrogen can permeate right in through the cell membrane, go right into your nucleus, and actually has very special effects on your gene and protects your DNA from oxidation, right? Which is the harmful free radicals that actually damage your DNA, right? From chemicals and other stuff. So one property is antioxidation. The second one is anti-apoptosis. These are actually, this picture is from a research that I found on PubMed, and it's summarizing all the benefits of hydrogen, okay? So another benefit is anti-apoptosis, which is the anti-cell death, which is anti-aging. Your cell basically live longer, it protects it more, because it doesn't die, right? Your cell actually dies and replicates itself every 6 years. Your body actually, every cell in your body has been renewed every 6 years. So you're a completely new person, right? So cells die and it divides, and it actually, grow like that, right? So anti-apoptosis means like it's slowing the aging process. So anti-inflammation, which is another very special properties. This just this alone can cure a lot of degenerative disease. Anytime you have pains, you are inflamed, right? Arthritis, anything that's have itis, right? Arthritis, meningitis, encephalitis, colitis, anything that you have itis, right? That's because of inflammation, right? So this water actually helps with inflammation, and if you're older, you don't have like joint pains and stuff like that, you benefit from it, right? Again, this is not medical claims, guys. If you're interested, you can always try the water. Water is cheap. Talk to the people that invite you here. try the water, you know the difference. And of course, you have to drink enough water and you drink properly, right? So that can be discussed, with your friends. And here are, as of 2017, you can see the medical benefits of hydrogen water. All the medical journals, more than 450 articles talking about the benefits of hydrogen. So you can see cancer, tissue dysfunction, sensory system and skin, reproductive, cardiovascular, heart disease and stuff like that. Central nervous system, which is your brain. There's a lot of studies on the brain. In fact, if you look at the effects of hydrogen on central nervous system diseases, Parkinson and Alzheimer. Parkinson is actually in clinical trials right now for hydrogen-rich water. So you can see that this article actually summarized all the different articles. You can see central nervous system, over 70 articles talking about how it helps the brain, right? And anything from autism to Alzheimer, degenerative brain disease, right? So hydrogen, in summary, has a lot of benefits. I could just move on. You can see I went to Google and said, hydrogen is so good. How come it's not sold anywhere? I went on Google and searched. You can see all kinds of hydrogen pills, hydrogen water, active hydrogen that's sold in the market, right? On Amazon. So you can see that hydrogen is actually in demand. If you look at this machine here, this little, 1 cup portable hydrogen water, they sold in Amazon for $1,153. That's how. And for us, hydrogen, if you read this, that's not a lot of hydrogen. It's like 0.9 ppm, right? That's how, after you plug it in 6 minutes, it produces 1 glass of hydrogen water, and it's sold for 1,000 something. This is Amazon. This is my account. You can see my name here. So you can see that hydrogen is actually in demand, and what do you call that? It's very popular in the market, right? So how much hydrogen are we getting in from the machine? This is from a Magic website. The hydrogen actually that we get is 1.5 milligram per liter. 1.5 milligram is a lot, right? That's almost maximum how much hydrogen can be dissolved in water. Hydrogen, is a gas, right? And it dissolves in water and it evaporates, right? So at equilibrium, we're talking about 1.6 milligram per liter. That's the maximum hydrogen can be dissolved in water, right? At 1 atmospheric pressure, which is sea level. So you can see that for us, it's 1.5. So almost maximum amount of hydrogen that can be, dissolved in water. So that's why this water is not sold and bottled in the market, right? Kangen water or ionized water, you don't see it bottled. Reason why? Because hydrogen actually evaporates, right? So that's why you own the machine and you drink it fresh, right from the machine, to get the most hydrogen into your system, hydrogen-rich water, right? So you can see hydrogen can treat all kinds of sickness, and this is like all studies, right? You can see obesity, hemodialysis, which is your kidneys, right? Heart, cardiovascular, radiation, which is like radioactive stuff, right? Neurodegenerative. Neurodegenerative is like Parkinson, Alzheimer, things like that. Has to do with the brain and the aging of the brain. Cancer, infection, sepsis. Sepsis is like blood infection, like hepatitis, HPV, that kind of thing, right? So infection in the blood. Diabetes type 2, skin disorder, neuromuscular, like Parkinson, like shaking and uncontrollably and stuff like that. Ulcer, and which is like all digestive and not just ulcer, but acid reflux and heartburn, all kinds of problem with digestion. So this water helps, and all these are all medically researched. And so how does it help? So hydrogen is actually is antioxidant, which is a Kangen water, because it has an extra electron, right? You can see here, it has an extra electron. Free radicals actually is deficient in 1 electron. So when it's if you study chemistry, you know the octet rule, right? Octet means 8, right? So if the bonds, if the element has 8 electron, is stable, right? If it has more or less, then it's not stable, right? Free radicals actually has short 1. It has only 7, right? So it needs to fill the 8. So how does it fill that? It circulates into your body and it takes an electron from your stable molecule, which is your DNA, right? Which is the most fragile molecule that there is, right? So when the electron is stolen from this stable molecule, this cell becomes defective, right? So when it's defective, what happens? It replicates defectively as well. So it starts to multiply, and that's where you get the tumor. A tumor is basically a defective cells that multiplies, right? So Kangen or antioxidant, Kangen is not only the antioxidation. You can have like some fruits and vegetables like blueberry and things like that is very rich in antioxidant, right? So antioxidant basically is an electron donor. It donates electron, it neutralizes the free radicals unstable molecule. So when it's neutralized like this, then you are not prone to any defective, cells damage, right? So that is what antioxidant is, right? So where does its free radicals come from in the body? So this is just a description of what the cell does, right? When it's exposed to free radicals. So it basically dies and being oxidized. And aging and everything else is because of the free radicals. So here you see free radicals come from UV, right? That's why you go to the sun, you have to put sunscreen, right? Why? Because UV actually a very strong oxidizer, right? It oxidizes your skin, it makes you old, right? And aging and wrinkles and stuff like that because of the sunlight, right? And radiation, of course, like radioactive stuff. Smoking also cause free radicals. And stress, overexertion, tiredness. Also, your body produce like free radicals. Air pollution, white blood cells. Like when your body actually fights against infection, it also produce free radicals, right? Inflammation also produces free radicals. So your body produces free radicals normally, naturally, also the external environment. So these free radicals attacks the DNA and damage the DNA. That's where you get aging, you get dying, and also cancer, mutation and things like that, because the gene is damaged, right? The DNA is damaged. And if you look at this, they are minus, right? OH minus, right? It's because it needs a plus, right? Sorry, OH plus. This is OH plus, OH plus, OH plus, right? And OH plus, OH plus. It's plus because it needs an electron, right? You can see here, because it needs an electron, right? Because here we have a minus because we have an extra electron, right? Electron is electricity, which is minus, right? So how do we know proof that our water is actually antioxidation and antioxidizing, right? So let me just drink a little more. Okay, so I have different types of water here. Let's see how I can show it to you easier.
And you need to stop sharing so you can.
Yeah. So let me organize this. Okay, that's good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cups. Okay, I got 2 cups. So I'm going to stop sharing, and hopefully you can see my screen. Right? Okay. So here we have different types of water, and we're going to test. These are the water we drink every day, by the way, guys. So it's not something new. Let me see. This is Aquafina. This is the Sani. I don't want to pour anymore. This is tap water. And this is smart water. This San Bernardino, which is spring water from Italy, very expensive. Tap water, right? Okay, so you can see all kinds of water. This is what we drink. Here, the reason why I use this water is because they represent the different types of water in the market, right? So here we have Permeate, which is carbonated water, spring water, by the way, but it's carbonated. So they add carbon dioxide into it, right? And here is carbonated with sugar. That we drink. And here is tap water we already have, and here's Kangen water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure what we call ORP, right? O stands for oxidation, R for reduction, and P is for potential. Basically, the potential to reduce or potential to oxidize, right? So it measure the oxidation process. So if you see if it's a minus, that means it's oxidizing. And let me calibrate a little bit so you can. Sorry. Okay, so here I have pure water. You see the positive, 290, 300, right? Positive, right? So now carbonated water with sugar.
330.
Yeah, 330.
300.
Now Aquafina.
Up a little bit. 373.
Yeah. The Sani. 300 something. So they're all positive. So these are measured in millivolts, which is electrolytes in the water, right? They're all positive. And this is spring water. See, it's less than 300, so it's pretty good.
24, 74.
Now tap water.
Up. 257.
Yeah, tap water is actually better than some of these bottled water, right? It's less than 300. Now Kangen water, you can see the minus.
Negative 240.
Yeah, and going up, right? You can see that our Kangen water is minus, right? So that means it's anti-oxidation. It has extra electrons that donates to the water, right? So you can see that here, tap water back to positive, right? So here is a tap water, and right now I'm going to pour, because right now it's oxidizing. Tap water is oxidizing, right? It's positive. Here is the Kangen water, and I'm going to pour in here, and it's going to have an anti-oxidation effects. It's going to change to negative. Watch the number.
Negative 100.
You see? So it's anti-oxidation. That's why, you're eating all this stuff and you're drinking all this stuff, but, when you go home and drink Kangen, then it has anti-oxidation effects, and it's neutralized a lot of the free radicals in your body.
Awesome. Thank you.
Right? So now I have another visual test on this, right? So on my hand here, this is povidone. Povidone is actually iodine, right? It's 10% iodine. Basically, these are for your skin, not skin, disinfecting, right? Because these are very strong oxidizing agent. Chlorine. If you look at the periodical chart, like in chemistry, you have chlorine, fluoride, bromide, iodine, right? So those are in the same column. That means that they're very oxidizing, right? So chlorine can use for oxidizing. Like you have iodine. Sometimes you use alcohol rub, right? You use iodine base, right? So you get the color. So it's very oxidizing. So now you can see that we have 3 cups of water here, right? And this is oxidizing agent. So oxidizing the free radicals. Remember, oxidizing free radicals, right? Free radicals. So 1 drop. This is the stress that you have every day, right? Now the processed food that you eat, another drop, right? So, and then your boss doesn't like you, and you can't, you have a problem with relationship, whatever. You can't sleep. More free radicals in your body, right? So now these are free radicals in the body, right? So you can see that your body has a natural way of dealing with free radicals, and you can see that the color changes, right? Different water has different ability to neutralize these free radicals, right? You see this, right? So now, sorry, I forgot about Kangen water. So here's Kangen water. So we said Kangen water has the ability to neutralize free radicals, right? So here, look, it neutralizes the free radicals, right? So just the Kangen alone can neutralize all these free radicals in your body, and so that's why it has it's a very strong antioxidant that nowhere clear near what you can eat or consume anything out there. Hydrogen is the most antioxidant that you can find, and that's why you have other research with it. So far, any questions, Annie, from the audience?
I have not seen anybody send anything.
Yeah, remember to use your chat window, guys, to ask any question you have, okay?
We're clear. We can continue, please.
Okay, so I'm gonna share the screen again. Share screen. Okay. So as you can see, my Kangen is like, minus 300 something, right? Compared to cod liver oil, compared to green tea, vitamin C, which is very antioxidizing as well, but it's not nearly near Kangen water. You can actually drink like 10 cups of green tea to be equivalent to the antioxidation effects of the Kangen water. And Kangen water, it just restructure water. So we take tap water, filter it, tap water, which is like oxidizing, right, from 300, and then you go through the process of electrolysis, and it adds all the electrons to make it antioxidation water. That's why sometimes you hear people call it restructure water. The same tap water is being restructured by electrolysis to make Kangen water. Okay, so so that's millivolts, which is the electrolytes that you can measure in the water. Okay, so the second property we talk about is alkaline. So if you look at in the market out there, health foods and health books and things like that, they are talking about alkaline, right? You have to have a balance of alkaline and acidic food, and most of 80% of the stuff we eat is acidic, so it's important to eat more alkaline to get the balance that we need, the acid that the pH balance that you need in your body. So if acid is measured by pH, right? So 7 is neutral. Above 7 is alkaline, below 7 is acidic, right? So from 7 to 8, the 7 pH stands for potential hydrogen, which is the hydrogen ions that's in the water, right? So from 7 to 8, it's actually increased 10 times. right? You add a 0 because it's negative log to the power of 10, right? So if you, it's the difference only 6 to 7 is actually a lot, right? 10 times. So if you're talking about pH 5 versus 7, you're talking about 100 times more acidic, right? More hydrogen ions in the measurement. So you can see that human blood is 7.36, 7.45, right? So it stays at that range, and 80% of the stuff we eat, let's say I'm Asian, we eat rice, right? Look, white rice is 5.0 acidic pH, right? So you can see that 90% of the stuff we eat, if you look carefully, all acidic, right? If you look at the water we drink as well, reverse osmosis, distilled water, bottled water, it's also very acidic, right? The water we drink and the meats, you know, and some of the stuff is very acidic. So 80% you eat is acidic. So your body, how does your body deal with this acidic? It's trying to keep the balance, right? 7.36 is your blood, right? So what happened is your body works very hard to neutralize all the acidity, the food you eat and the water you drink every day, right? So over years and years and years of out of the balance like this, then your body is becomes like over acidic, right? So it's and your kidney and your liver actually beginning to not function properly, right? So when you're a kid, you could eat anything, you could drink anything, you don't get fat, you don't get any sick, right? But as you get older, you know, you gain weight, you start to get, you know, all kinds of sickness and joint pains, all that stuff. It's all because your body is not efficient in getting rid of all these metabolic wastes, right? So that's why it's important to eat alkaline, as you saw on the diet books, or because if you cannot eat, you actually become drink. So you change your water, right? If you change your water, you can balance all this 80% acidic water that and food that you're drinking, eating every day in your body. So your body will slowly maintain that balance, right? And therefore, you know, that's where the health comes from. The health benefits come from. Okay, so here I'm going to measure these water to see what kind of acid pH level it is, and this will amaze you. The kind of stuff that we drink every day, we don't know. So here,
can you swap it to your station, Tim?
Yes. Sorry, forgot about that. You can see, right? So that the Sani Smart Water, spring water from Italy, San Benito, tap water, and Kangen water.
You need a longer station so you can test more waters.
This is 8 already. Okay, so here you can see, actually, sorry, okay, I'm gonna move it down so you can see the chart. Can we move this water up?
You can see it. Move it down, we cannot see.
Wait.
All right.
So now you can see the pH here, down here, right? The color. So I have a pH indicator, and if it's in this range, it's acidic, right? 7 is neutral, and here is alkaline. Our blood is slightly alkaline, which is 7.36, right? So here I'm going to drop five drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far, you see all yellow? Can you see it?
Yes.
All very acidic, right? 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's better.
Neutral. Actually, it's slightly alkaline. It's blue. This is green. So it should,
Your city is not so healthy.
yeah. So I'm gonna switch this so you can, it will match, right? So now,
Kangen water.
what's your Kangen water? Actually, you know what? It's not fair because it has more water, so I'm gonna pour it out a little bit more. So people said I don't cheat, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, I love the color. I love purple.
Yeah. You see that?
Nice.
Right? This, the same purple is this. Okay, so that's the Kangen water. So you can see that most of the stuff you eat, you drink here, it's all acidic, right? Gas, alcohol, anything that has carbonated. Carbonated because they use carbon dioxide, right? Carbon dioxide is actually what your body expel, right? It's a byproduct of respiration, right? So your body get rid of it. Now you take carbon dioxide, you compress it into carbonated water so you can drink it and put it back into your body, right? It's not very healthy. You can see now that Kangen water, like antioxidation, is also anti-acidic, right? So look at this. When I pour in here, it will alkalize the water, right? So if you eat and you drink all the acidic, now you drink Kangen water and you balance that pH, right? So you actually alkalize these water. See this? Just a little bit. You can alkalize the water.
Nice.
Right? Now, these two carbonated water, you cannot alkalize it. It's too acidic, right? Here, I'm pouring again. See, it tries to alkalize. You can see the water. This is interesting. Watch carefully, right? You see the color change, and then it goes right back to yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very acidic, and because of that, you drink every day and you don't even know it. In fact, one time I talked to one of her person, and she actually has a carbonated machine. She carbonate everything, like all the water that she drinks, she carbonate. The juice, she carbonated. So imagine all kinds of acid that she has. So now, let's say you really want to drink this, right? And so you drink a little bit of this. See how bad it is. So just a little bit, okay? Look at that. Just a little bit. It acidified everything you see here. You see that? And it's diluted already with Kangen water. And you can see they're all yellow. Right? You can see that how acidic this is. In fact, if you drink one of this, you have to drink 32 equal parts of alkaline water to neutralize the acidity. Right? So that's how bad this water is, carbonated water and sugar and all that stuff. So
a question that we normally see that people might worry that they're drinking Kangen water, then their body would be too alkaline. Is there such thing like that?
If you look at the chart, 80% of you eat and drink, it's all acidic. How can you be too alkalized? Just changing your water is not going to change the diet unless you eat vegetable, you're a vegan, you eat you eat all the stuff that's up here. Right? Can you see my my screen?
No. You need to share it. Yeah, and even though we eat alkaline, we eat a vegetable, but we still worry, we're still working, we're still stressed, and we're still exposed to.
Yeah, so you're exposed to free radicals, you're over acidic all the time, right? So you can see here, this is what you put in every day. There's no way that you're putting alkaline in here, except for just the drinking, right? If you want to get to be alkaline, you can eat like raw spinach, raw broccoli, raw sprouts, cauliflower, alfalfa grass, seaweed. Those are the alkaline foods. That's not what you eat every day, right? So you can still continue to eat 80% of the food, right? Because it's acidic, right? So now you drink alkaline water to balance all this, right? And your body technically know how to balance, right? The body actually has this system called homeostasis. Basically, it's the balancing of everything, right? So let's say if you're too hot, then you sweat, right? You sweat so that it cools your body down. The wind blows, and it evaporates, and it cools your body down. If you're too cold, what happens? You start shivering, right? Your body actually forces you to move around so that you generate heat. So your body actually has a way of trying to balance, that range, right? Your temperature is like 37 degrees. So even if it's 2 more degrees, you get fever, right? 39 degrees fever, right? Below 2 degrees only, just 2 degrees of your body temperature, you become hypothermia, right? It's cold, right? So your body has a certain range of balance. And with acid, the same thing. Your blood is 7.36. It cannot go any before that or after that, or you're going to go to, emergency, right? But over time, and the food you eat and all the stuff, it becomes acidic and stuff like that. So the drinking alkaline water actually helps your daily intake of acid food and drinks, or acid food. Presumably you don't drink any more of these after you seen this, right? So there you go. Does that answer your question? Hello?
You, Tam. Thank you. You're very clear.
Okay, thank you. So here, I want to show you also alkaline, what this alkaline does to your body. That is,
All right.
so can you hear?
I see your station, but
It's so weird. I cannot play any video today.
We cannot hear your video.
Yeah, I know. I cannot play it for some reason. Okay, sorry. Basically, this video shows you the decrease in blood viscosity, and here's a study against that, right? So the effect of electrolyzed reduced water or electrolyzed high alkaline water and blood viscosity. Basically, your blood flow better, right?
Yes.
And it doesn't stick together. When it flows better, it doesn't stick together. Then you get your nutrients and oxygen is flowing better, and so you basically get better health in general, right? Because your body is functioning better, your exchange of nutrients and waste and all this stuff. So you can see that there's actually studies about that. Sorry, next Wednesday I'll make sure that you can see the video. You can come back here and watch this demo again. Huh?
If you need it.
Yeah. So you can see alkaline water is very come with a price in the market, right? Here, Essentia in Canada, in the States it's cheaper. But in Canada, 12 liters like this, a pack of 12 for 1 liter, you can pay for $129. pH 9.5, right? Yeah. So I'm going to compare. I have this water here, and I'm going to compare it with the alkaline in the market, right? So here you can pay $16 a liter of natural alkaline water. This is like a pack of 6. You can pay up to $100 Canadian. So you can see that water like this out there is expensive, right? For us, we get it for free. Well, not free, but nearly free, right? So here, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to show you the difference between our alkaline water and can you pause the recording? I'm gonna get a straw. Sorry, I forgot the straw. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Sorry.
All right, team. Hopefully that you find some information, get deeper understanding about Kangen water. Like you see the way how Tam explained, very detailed, very clear. And you know, this is more for your information. This is more for you to understand it. Once you understand it clearly, you can, you know, share it out to people out there. You can help them to use it appropriately, that helping their health, their family, their friends. Okay, so you understand it, you don't need to do a full presentation like Tam, but at least you see how people need it once you come across it. Okay, now Tam back. I give it back to you, Tam.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so everyone see my station? I have to stop sharing, I think.
I don't see your presentation.
No, but you see my demo, right? More my table, right? Yes. So here I have 9.5 water from Costco, okay? And it claims to be electrolyte. You see that? Electrolyzed, right? But it's not electrolyte. It's actually a lot of man-made minerals in here just to make it alkaline, like especially like sodium hydroxide and things, right? So this is 9.5, and this is our 9.5. You can see it's the same volume, right? Can anyone see that? Okay, so Annie, can you start the clock? I want to see. So basically, as we saw, carbonated water is very acidic, right? The reason why is because carbon dioxide actually mixed with the water to become it becomes a carbonic acid, right? So so what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow my gas, my carbon dioxide into here and to acidify the water, right? And then we can see which one has actually which alkaline water is actually more stable, right? This is chemically induced alkaline, and this is natural alkaline water. Okay.
You need to drop.
So you have to watch.
You need to drop the pH in it first. It's clear right now. We cannot see anything.
Thanks for telling me. Okay, so 5 drops. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's alkaline, right? You can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Okay. So
here,
both are alkaline water.
Watch here. You can see my clock start going as Tam blow his air breath into it. Go ahead, Tam. I'm ready.
Where's your watch? I can't even see you.
People can see it. I record it. I mean, it's shown right on the screen.
Really?
Yeah. You don't need to see. We need to see it. You don't.
Okay. Ready? So I'm gonna blow. Okay. Carbon dioxide goes into the water, becomes acid, so it'll turn yellow. Okay. Ready?
You can sit down. You don't need to stand up. Okay. Good. Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Go. It's going. The watch is.
Okay.
Okay. Stop. It's
How many seconds?
11 seconds.
How many?
11.
11 seconds. Okay.
Yes.
Now this is Kangen water. So I'm gonna blow the same thing to acidify this water to see how acidic it is. Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. It's going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
14. Okay.
Okay.
11 seconds and 14 seconds is still alkaline. So you can see the difference. So our alkaline water is actually more stable or more natural compared to what's sold in the market. If you look at the label, there's all chemicals in here, right? Or man-made minerals. Okay, so that's to show you the alkalinity of the water and how it compares with the alkaline water in the market. Okay, so I think
you want to test the microcluster.
yes, which is the next one. Okay, share screen again. Okay, microcluster. So microcluster is a third property of this water. And okay, so here I want to show you some of the before and after picture of this doctor here. He's very famous. He's the one who pioneered the colonoscopy, which is the machine that check your colon, right? And he's Japanese, and he's done like 370,000 colonoscopy, and he wrote books like this, which is bestseller. And he talks about this alkaline water because he's Japanese and he grew up with this, right? You can see that he basically advises patient to drink this water for cleansing the system. And this is his colonoscopy pictures. This is like a 38-year-old with alkaline, with a gut like this, which is constipation. When your gut is like filled with deposit like this, right? It's not absorbing, and it's your feces are not going out because it's stuck here because of all this deposit into your gut. But here, after 6 months of drinking alkaline water, it's all cleared up. And this is his patient that he advised to drink. So you can see it actually emulsify and clean the gut, right? So here I'm going to have another demo regarding alkalinity. So you can see here I have the alkaline water, actually not just for drinking, but also using for the strong 11.5. You can actually use it for to wash vegetables and remove pesticides and herbicides, and not only that, it's the preservatives in the water, right? In the fruit and produce. Reason why I'm using tomatoes is because tomatoes grow in the Sorry.
Just a screen.
Okay. So here I have tomatoes that I buy from Walmart, right? The reason why I use the tomatoes is because when people, farmers grow tomatoes in the farm, they spray pesticides, right? And herbicides. Herbicide and pesticides actually is oil-based. The reason why it's oil-based so that it sticks to the leaves and stick to the fruit, and it protects it from the insects. So it's insecticide, right? So because it's oil-based, it sticks there, and when you water or you can, the rain comes, they don't have to spray again, right? Every season they spray once or twice. So now the oil-based pesticide sticks to the fruit, and then when you bring you harvest this fruit, people actually spray wax on this. That's why it's shiny, right? The wax actually covers the pesticide as well. The reason why they use the wax is so that it preserves, it increases the shelf life, right? Because otherwise it ripes too fast. So when you have fruits, especially like apples and other stuff, they have wax on it. So it covers, it protects it so that it doesn't ripe, right? You don't want to ripe, because if it ripe, it rots, right? So then it sits on the shelf longer so they can sell it longer. So here I have alkaline water, and strong alkaline water 11.5. You can see it's cleaner, degreaser, it's anti-inflammatory water, right? And so it basically emulsify oils. So here I'm going to pour it into one cup. So basically now you have Kangen water, you're washing your vegetable with 11.5. Normally you use tap water to wash the vegetables, right? That's what you do every day. So here I'm going to compare the vegetables. The reason why it's alkaline emulsified oils. Okay, so how does it emulsify oil? How do you know that it's actually emulsified oils, right? So here I have sesame oil, pure sesame oil. So I'm going to drop it into 2 cups. Right? So you know that water and oil don't mix because oil is lighter and it floats on top. Right? You can see it doesn't mix. Right? Most of the oil floats on top. Now, Kangen water, on the other hand, because it's alkaline, strong alkaline, it actually emulsifies the oil. So you can see here. You see that? It emulsifies the oil, so you can see the difference between the 2 glasses. That is the cleansing effect. That's what you saw on the colon. You know, if you drink alkaline water over time, although 11.5 you don't drink, but you know 9.5 over time it will cleanse your system. And of course it does other effects too. But so now the oil in this has been emulsified as well. Now you can see I'm going to put into 2 cups. This cups here is you wash with regular tap water. Now you see it's clear, you think it's clean, right? This is water that washed with tomatoes, some tomato washed with alkaline water. You can see the yellow. You see the difference between the 2?
Very clear.
Right? So
people we can see it.
In fact, because you are remote, but you can actually taste the tomatoes, and it's much fresher, and it's much crunchier. It's much sweeter. And some people ask me, why is it crunchy? Right? The reason why is tomatoes sits in here for a long time, so it evaporates and it basically dehydrates. Right? So this water has another property. It's called microcluster. So it's small enough that it goes into the fruit and vegetable when you soak it like this, and it's actually crunchier because it actually hydrates the tomatoes to make it crunchier, right? And you know, and because basically water is soaked in here, so it lasts longer in the fridge. It doesn't rot, right? And it's cleaner. So you know, all my vegetables and stuff like that, you wash it first and then you put it in the fridge, and it will last a long time because it rehydrates all these fruits as well as cleaning out all the pesticides and herbicides and you know insecticides. So so that leads to my next demo, which is the last one, is the microcluster, the small molecules of water that actually absorb into the tomatoes to make it crunchy. And because it's absorbed to your body, it actually hydrates your body much better than any other water that in the market.
Thank you, Tam. So that's the last demo you performed today, right?
Yeah, the last property.
Our last property, well, soon that you will see demo again. And because this is the very first time we do this in English, is to your clients and is we present it to you yourself. So for your information and for you to understand it thoroughly so you can help your client as well. So it takes a little bit of time, but thank you so much, Tam, for your research and for your really deep, clear, detailed explanation for the team. So because you distance, so you can hear my hand clap. But yes, I clap with my hands too. Thank you. Thank you, big brother.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Can you see now? Can you see my screen?
I don't see your screen, but I see your station.
Okay, station is good. Okay, so here, I'm gonna show you what microcluster is. So here is a before and after gut, cleansing effect. So microcluster. Water is actually H2O. H2O has like dipolar molecules, so it's like the negative end and the positive end, right? The negative end and the positive end actually link to each other in the fluid, right? And the force is called like weak van der Waals forces. This is basic physics, right? So water, the more stagnant the water is, like water in the bottle like this, right? Bottle of water, it's 6 months. Remember, 6 months before you can drink it, right? So it sits there and it's stagnant for a long time. So these clusters builds up, right? So the only thing that you break the cluster is when you boil the water, right? When you boil the water, the bond breaks and you have smaller cluster, right? So cluster could be dimer, trimer, tetramer, and all this stuff, right? So Kangen water actually has been known to have about 4 to 6 clusters per cluster, 4 to 6 molecule per cluster. And this is discovered by Dr. Peter Ager. And he won the Nobel Prize. He noticed that on our cell membrane, there is a water channels, and he called it aquaporins. So this water channel actually allows water to pass through the membrane into the cells. So water that, not all water can pass through the membrane easy. Only the one that has a small cluster we call microcluster, right? Micro means small, right? So a small cluster can pass through the membrane easier. So when this actually determines the level of hydration, right? If you talk about water, the better the water is, the water actually hydrates your body. So if it's smaller cluster, it goes through the cells and it actually increase the water exchange and the nutrients and removing metabolic waste and all the stuff. So your cell actually works better when it's hydrated, right? When your body works better, then it actually can improve your health and also correct any deficiencies in terms of your health, right? And it regulates your body much better. So how do you improve that? So here I have tea. I'm all confused now if I'm sharing or not. Okay, you can see me, right? So here I have green tea, Japanese green tea, right? Pure organic green tea. So when you drink tea, you boil the water, right? When you boil the water, as you see, the bonds breaks, right? So it's a smaller cluster and it's more hydrating. That's why doctor says, like in the morning, you should drink like warm water, a cup of warm water, because, you want to hydrate your body after a night of sleep, right? So same thing with this water, when it goes through electrolysis, it breaks the bonds, right? So the bonds is smaller, and with smaller, then you can steep the tea better. So here is regular water. You can see it's just cold water, right? The tea doesn't steep. Now this is Kangen water. You can see the yellow, right? So I said, hey, this is not fair because it's wet already, right? So 3 times, dips. See, regular water, Kangen water. You see the difference? Regular water, right? So you can see that Kangen water, actually, it's more hydrating. The cluster is smaller. It's steep the tea better, and it actually takes the nutrients out of the tea, and that's why you can see this yellow thing, right? So now, you asked me. Let me get more water here. So I dip the tea into the regular water, but it doesn't steep, so you see the color change, right? But watch. There's tea powder in here that is not steeping, right? It's not penetrating into the T cells. So here, if I pour Kangen water in, you see the yellow change? See that? So because it has tea in it, regular water does not steep and it does not break the bonds. This one does. So you can see this is regular water with some tea powder. You can see that, right?
Very
So, yeah, right. So this water is actually very super hydrating, and there's a lot of studies on this sport hydration and all the stuff. So you can look into it. So far we talk about 4 properties, right? Alkaline, high in alkaline, high in antioxidation, and high in hydration, which is microclusters. Okay. Sorry, it took longer than I anticipated. But hopefully you get all the stuff that you can see here.
I take note and I record it, and I'm
okay.
sure the benefit for our team.
So this water actually this machine produced like 7 types of water, right? 3 water for drinking, 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5. 7 water is for clean water for baby formula and taking Western medications like prescribed medications. And then there's a special water, 2.5, sorry, 6.0 for skin tone for your skin, and 2.5 and 11.5 that you saw earlier. So we talked about 11.5, the alkaline water, but we haven't talked about the acidic water, 2.5. This machine, this medical device, is used in the hospitals because of the 9.5. 9.5 is disinfectant, and it's actually hypochlorous acid. I can tell you that in the market right now, none of the machines that you know has this water. The reason why is because of hypochlorous acid. They can advertise that they have they can produce like acidic water, 2.5 or even 2.5, 2.6, right? 2.5 acidic water is not the same as hypochlorous acid water 2.5. The reason why is we use like a salt solution to create hypochlorous acid, right? It has chlorine in it, and chlorine is a disinfectant, right? So here is 7.0, 6.0 for natural toner, antioxidant, nourish the skin with natural minerals, pH balance for the skin, and it helps with like skin disease and psoriasis and eczema and things like that. Here is the acidic water, kills 99.9% bacteria in 30 seconds. So you can use it as general disinfectant. You can sterilize like medical equipment, body wounds and things like that. For your mouth, it prevents gingivitis. Mouthwash for your bath breath. Prevents like food poisoning to kill sort of bacteria in the food so you don't get sick. Bug bites, skin allergies, pesticides. You can spray it on the plants. Blisters, burns, acne, cold sores, all kinds of stuff. And so here is some of the pictures of what we use for the vegetable for. And there's actually studies about it as well. This is PubMed study talk about pesticides and how alkaline water can remove all the pesticides effectively, which is on the vegetables. Here is this 6.5 for skin conditions, eczema. Here's my friend that lives nearby here for 3 days of treatment of fungus. You can see the before and after using 2.5, 11.5. This guy is very special. You know the breathe firing stun, right? This guy, he did that, and while he was drunk, and the alcohol or the gasoline actually caught him into fire. Like it basically, his body basically turned into flame. So he got like really a 3rd-degree burn, like really heavy. This is in August '96, right? This is only 20 days using just Kangen water. So he couldn't even, this is not as bad, but his lips was like swollen. He couldn't eat and couldn't move. And his sister actually put like breadcrumbs into his mouth and just pour Kangen water, right? And after 20 days, he recovered. And I met him in Vietnam, and the guy is just hilarious. But basically, he drinks a lot, right? So because he drinks a lot, he has like his liver was failing. Right? He has jaundice. You can see like the yellowing of the skin and the eye, right? Because of this fire he was able to recover from jaundice as well by just drinking water for 20 days. So you can see that the power of this Kangen water, and if I didn't see him and meet him in person, I wouldn't believe it. So that's just amazing how this water can help. Here is my friend Jessica in California. This is for the skin conditions. Basically, it's before and after. So this water is special, hypochlorous acid, right? Topical, and there's studies, all kinds of studies on it. And you can, what?
You don't see your sharing.
So yeah, so that's basically it. There's a lot of application that we can talk about: fight germs and psoriasis, bad breath, skin condition, eye infection, mouth infection, throat infection. You can use this, like for mouth and for cuts, burns, mouthwash, stuff like that. So yeah, so you have all kinds of addition to this. Again, I can't play the video. Really weird. Okay. Anyways, that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, if you're talking about, a lot of people say, so how much is it, right? You can see that this machine lasts 15 to 20 years, right? So just for 15 years, for the sake of calculation, right? You can see Kangen water works out to be 0.02 cents a gallon. That's 1/5 of a cent per gallon, right? So you're talking about water for drinking and for cooking and washing vegetables and things like that. So the cost is not a lot if you think of 15 years of owning this machine, right? So you don't have to buy bottled water anymore. You don't have to buy all kinds of chemicals for your house for cleaning, disinfecting, and all kinds of stuff, right? And this is EPA studies, right? So they're talking about actually the water, the electricity, the maintenance, the filters, factors all that in, is still 0.02 cents a gallon. So it's nothing, compared to the health benefits that you can get from this water. So thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, we can answer them now. Or
Tim, you can unmute yourself and you can start asking questions. But first of all, I invite Emmeline to say something with us, since you are one of the very successful distributor there in Toronto. Are you in Toronto? That
yeah, you have to unmute yourself, Emily.
Yeah. So
Emily? You are okay. Now you can hear you.
Emmeline is very shy and she's not really too so much noise out there, but she's one of the quiet, silent one, but very successful. So we can learn from her as well. Go ahead and say hi to us, Emmeline.
Okay. Hi, everyone. How are you? Yes, my name.
We're good. We're good.
First of all, I want to thank you everyone for inviting me. Yes, my name is Amelin Villegas, and I'm an accountant profession, and it's an awesome presentation by Tam. So let's give him a hand. Hey.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I started in Magic as a part-time, and while I'm still in my accounting job before, and after receiving my 6A4-3, I quit my job. I am now full-time with Magic. But while I'm building this one, I did it part-time, and thank God I reached the level of 6A4-3 right now. And
Awesome.
Energy has changed my life completely. Enagic is a life-changing opportunity. And guys, our product is part of a mega trend. People, some of the people doesn't have right now our machine, but soon everybody will have this machine in every household. That's the mission of Mr. Oshiro. So like the cell phone, before people have the flip phone, right? Now they changed to iPhone. Like in our house, before we have the old TV, but now we changed to flat screen TV. So this is what happened to our machine soon, especially what going on right now. Everybody needs this machine because we have to strengthen our immune system, and for our food we have to clean, to clean with this water, and so everybody will must have this machine. Okay, thank you, Tam, for inviting me.
Yeah, welcome. So what's the best part you like about this presentation, aside from being too long?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, the actual demonstration. I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so Emily, it's just to let you know, Emily has nothing to do with my business. She's just here to, you know, support and things like that. So at Enagic, everyone helps each other. You know, you have your own business, but you also have the same mission, which is, you know, sharing this water to your friends, families, and people out there. And as Emily said, this machine is going to be like the fifth appliance, kitchen appliance, right? If you think about a microwave in the old days, microwave when it first came out, when you sell a microwave, people said, "What is that?" Oh, it's a machine that heats food, right? Are you crazy? Like thousands of dollars for a machine to heat food? Like I can just turn on my stove and heat food, right? Like why do I need a microwave, right? So you didn't think it would be a good sale, right? But you know, as life goes on, and you know, things that get busier and things like that, and you know, now a microwave is a must in your house. If you walk into the house and there's no microwave, it's like, what's going on, right? In the old days, like microwave, like, you know, what kind of wave is it? You know, is it radiation? Is it going to cause cancer and all kinds of stuff? People are reluctant, but now everyone buys a microwave, right? So the same thing with machine. They have say that, you know, I mean, it's going to be a fifth appliances, and you know, because our water is more polluted now, the environment is more polluted, fruit and vegetables are more chemicals, we eat all kinds of processed food, you know, all kinds of stuff that you put in our body, so we need to cleanse it, you need to clean the fruit and vegetables and all the stuff. So you know, more and more it's a need, right? If you see all kinds of sickness, and especially cancer, right? I can share with you how this water can help with cancer in another training or another sharing session. But there's a lot of studies about cancer out there, and you know, like with the advance in technology and medical advancements and things like that, we're still losing the battle of cancer. If you know, I cut that part out, but if you look at cancer in Canada, they have been estimated like 1 in 2 people in their lifetime will be detected with cancer, and will be diagnosed with cancer, and 1 in 4 will die from cancer. So you're thinking, you know, cancer rate is going higher and higher. I'm sure you know somebody who died of cancer or passed away of cancer, and you know, like there's nothing we can do. But you know, with this water, we can prevent it at least. And you know, I've seen people can recover from stage 4 cancer, and Dina can attest that. And you know, I know a guy in Toronto here that we helped, and he actually recovered from stage 4 kidney cancer. So this water is a real deal. I mean, not aside from the business opportunity, but I love this that is actually helps people improve health, and that's my main goal. I mean, I work for the government, and you know, my pension is good, and you know, I'm set for retirement. But with this water, the more I share, the more I want to share, because so many people benefit from this. So if you want to know how it benefits your health and your family, you can actually, you don't have to buy the machine, just contact whoever invited you, and get the water, get the sample. Water is cheap. Just run it from the machine and bring it home and try it. You feel the benefits from this. Anyways, I talk too much. Anybody have any question?
Thank you, Tim. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
This is exactly just life-changing.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
I mean,
huh? That's why it kind of repeat myself. Okay,
it's okay.
This is about sharing, and the more you caring for people around you, the more successful you be in this business. So open your heart, sharing the water with people around you. Everybody around you drinking water. Just up for the water. You do not need to do a full demo like Tam does. Tam just help us out. Tam just provide enough information for us to helping out our clients. Tam just helping us out to have a clear picture of this, but you just understand this. You see how people around you need it, and just offer water to people. Open the heart, and the business come and help. I mean, people around you just come ask for it. Okay, don't worry so much about sell. Offer people water, even though people don't buy the machine, but your heart will feel so happy that you offer good water, and that's helping people to cleansing their body, to detox their body, to provide antioxidant to their body. Be happy with it and enjoy giving water. That's what I do, and it bring me to today, that where I am in this business. Okay, and good luck to everyone, and hope you all success in this business. And thank you so much, Emmeline, and thank you so much, Tam, for helping us out on this presentation.
You're welcome. So we would have our team would have 2 demos a week, one in Vietnamese on Mondays, and I'll try to sustain a Wednesday as well for the English speaking. So if you have any guests or anybody that you're thinking, I'm sure when you look at this, you're thinking, oh shoot, I should have invited somebody that I know to see this, right? So you do have another opportunity to see this next Wednesday, and so as you said, change your water, change your life, and change your life in many ways. And Mr. Oshiro, this is true health. His motto is expanding true health. And true health, what he means is, or what he defines true health is financial health, physical health, and mental health, right? So physical health, of course, this water with all the benefits of your health for you and your family, but it's also an opportunity to make some extra money, and hopefully, if you're serious about this, and the money will come, and like Emmeline, she quits her job and be a full-time mom or grandmother or whatever she is. So then that is basically financial health, right? And then also mental health. If you have the health, the physical health, and you have the money, then you're not stressed, right? So, and you'll be happier, you travel more, then that will become mental health, right? So this business is that's what it offers: true health, mental health, physical health, and financial health. And it's hard to envision that until you start being in that situation. Emmeline is smiling because she agrees with me, right? She's staying home, and I see her smiling and talking to people, and ready to give demo and share the water anytime. Like right now, if I still have a job, and people ask me for a demo, I said you gotta wait after I work, right? But hopefully, I'll reach the state where I can get passive income like Emmeline, and I don't have to report to an 9 to 5 job. So anyways.
Even though that nowadays that COVID and we cannot travel, we cannot come to people, see our clients, but here I can do this demo right here on Zoom. It's just like Tam just did, and I do that now almost like every day for our team. So if you have clients out there, and if you need help, just reach out to me, or reach out to Tam or Calvin, or any of your upline can help you with. Okay, just reach out to us and we help out. Okay, and just open your heart. And once again, thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. And thank you for our customer out there that helping us out. And Emily, thank you. And we learned so much from you. And Tam, thank you for your research.
You're
And
welcome.
everyone,
Thank you. Take care, guys.
take care. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
I
Bye.
end the recording now. Bye Dương, bye anh Long, bye Hoàng Anh, bye anh Ryan.
Sao mọi người sao có thấy ok không? Buồn ngủ chưa?